Okay, we're live and welcome to the coaching call. I did want to share something briefly before we get started with any specific questions or any guidance or feedback. I'm not sure if you have, you might have seen the Mastery Journal. Did you see you've seen the Freedom Journal, but you may have seen
Yeah.
the Mastery Journal, which is the same guy that created the Freedom Journal, but I got a copy of it recently and he's literally just launched it. I haven't got the actual journal, but um, I've got the downloaded bit so I can fill it out. But essentially, it's about productivity, discipline, and focus. That's the three areas. And the key thing, I mean, I've literally only started it today, I think it was. But one of the main premise is, and it's so true how it is that we've all got, well, not all of us, but many of us have got a certain amount of time each day to work on our business. And sometimes people have got 10 hours and yet they don't get anything done. Sometimes people have got just a couple of hours and they manage to get more done than others that have got longer. And sometimes people have got a couple of hours and they've got so much to do that they just can't get it all done. So one of the ideas, and this is something that I used to teach years ago when I used to teach productivity and time management. I did a presentation or a talk on it at one of the network marketing events as well. And it was about blocking out a specific amount of time to work on a specific task, eliminating all of the distractions and just staying 100% focused. So what the Mastery Journal does is each day, it's 100 days again, so he breaks it up into 10-day sprints. 4 sessions each day. Each session, you do you say how much time you want to focus on a specific task. So he says he does 43 minutes because he 42 or 43 because he likes the number, and then he does another 17 minutes of refresh time. For me, I'm doing it as 45 minutes. So 45 minutes focus and then 15 minutes of refresh. So I only managed to do 3 blocks of time today because I'd got calls and that, and I wasn't able to do the 4. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working on my most important tasks during the 4 sessions. And what I've found recently is I haven't been as productive as I often am because I've got lots of little things going on. There's the invitation, there's the instruction, there's the preparing for the webinar, there's the coaching calls, the content creation, all of that kind of stuff. What's happened is I've slipped behind with creating the academy content. So what I'm doing is I know first thing in the morning I'm most productive. So today I scheduled in 2 sessions in the morning and 1 after lunch because I've got a call first thing in the morning as well. Whereas tomorrow I'm going to do 3 sessions first thing in the morning. So 1 at 9, so 9 till 9:45, then take a 15-minute refresh break. Then 10 till 10:45, take a 15-minute refresh break. Then 11 till 11:45, take a 15-minute refresh break. And then 1 till 1:45 and then a 15-minute refresh break, and not touch social media because that's not what I'm going to be working on. What I'm working on is creating the invitation trainings for the academy. So today I've written out all the instructions. I've got most of what I want to teach. I still need to go back over it and make it better. So the first session, I'm basically going to turn Facebook off. I turn my mobile off, no distractions at all. Nothing to distract me, and literally start my timer and go 45 minutes, and then the timer beeps and I'm working on the one task I'm getting the invitation instructions done. That's my only focus. If I get distracted, then if I go onto social media, if I do something else, then I would mark myself at the end how productive I've been or how disciplined I've been. And then I'll do a 15-minute refresh break. And when I do that, it could be a 15-minute meditation. It could be 15 minutes appreciation or gratitude. It could be 15 minutes of exercise or just moving. It could be, just nip into the house, grab a cup of tea. It could be outside kind of jogging on the spot or something like that. But the key is to take that break and it refreshes your mind again. So it's pretty powerful, and there's 2 pages for each day. There's the 4 sessions that you write out what your focus time is, what your refresh time is, write out what your main focus for the session's going to be, and then start your timer and begin. And then afterwards, what was your main accomplishment? How productive were you out of 1 to 10? And how disciplined were you 1 to 10? And then do that for, ideally, not everybody's going to be able to do 4 sessions a day because that's obviously 4 hours. But I think if we cut out TV and things like that, and if people, yeah, I can't. That ultimately comes down to the individual as to how productive they can be with the time that they've got. But I know for me, I've got a fair amount of time, but I know by focusing 100% on the 4 sessions, I get the most important things done, and then the rest of the day is just easy. I can do my social media, I can do my front end content creation, I can communicate with other people, I can do phone calls. But as long as I'm designating those 2 to 4 sessions a day on the most important activities in my business, like creating the courses, creating the trainings, that kind of stuff, then there'll be massive progress as well. So yeah, hope that helps. Definitely help a few people depending on where everybody's at. But cool. All right, so let's figure out what you've been up to, Alenka, and anything I can help you with.
Well, regards to what you were saying right now, I'm using the Pomodoro technique, and it's actually 25 minutes. I installed an app on my computer, so it counts down to 0. So yes, it really helps me, and 25 minutes works better for me.
Okay, cool.
Because and then I have just 5-minute break, and I find that if I'm doing larger tasks like you are doing with the content, that in the 15 minutes I get lost, and 45 minutes of pure work is just too much.
Yes.
So 25 minutes works perfectly for me. And I posted the promo post in those groups for my freebie. And I haven't created it yet, so
cool. Good.
I was really pushed to do that, and I did it on my other computer with the PowerPoint. So I don't know what it's called exactly, Norm, but I can send it later. The name of it's Activity Timer. It's called. It's the app on the computer, so you get the timer on the top bar in the computer, so on the screen. So I always see it, and I know I have to hurry up if I want to finish the task. And I also use not just to finish things like that, but I get overwhelmed with all the social media and talking, so I use one block for accepting new friends, one block for just talking to them, and when the block is finished, I stop. I don't go on and on and on. So it helps me really to see
good. That's the best way to do it.
It has the end.
Batch everything together.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Batching up. So yeah, mostly I was doing the the messaging about my freebie. I created the freebie and everything with the download and things like that. So, but that's easy for me. The hard part is now responding to everyone. I got like 260 requests altogether in mine group and 2 others. So
wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, I will need a VA soon.
There is a piece of software that I haven't tested out, and I don't know if it's any good. It looks pretty good. I don't know how much it is, but somebody sent it me recently, and it basically replies to people who comment on certain posts. I'm not sure how you do it. I'm not sure if it can be used in other groups or not, but
I don't know if it can be. I know that you can put the kind of automatic reply on your fan page.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about those. So yeah, I'm
This one's a little bit different. It's worth having a look, and I'd love to explore it. But obviously, it can't work for what you're doing at the moment, and I don't use it. But yeah, it can be a challenge having to message every single person. You're right.
The hardest part is to keeping it paced, so I don't get in the Facebook jail.
Yes.
I already got 2 warnings. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so that's actually because I'm just copy pasting the message, and it's not the difficult part. Then what else? Oh, I got my first hater, and I also got just today. Because with the freebie I offer free strategy sessions. I got someone today, and I was not even thinking of selling anything, just have a session, offer my help. And she asked me, how can she work with me? How much I charge?
Oh, that's amazing. Well done.
And I was so shocked, I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. What did you say? I'll get back to you, or you'll get back to
No, I just said, of course I do.
You'll be creating your own coaching program next.
Yeah, exactly. I will have to create something. So it is happening. I'm really excited about it.
That's amazing. That's great. And what you did is perfect, because once we've got the and obviously you use whatever you can for strategy sessions and that. And when we've also got the it's going to be called the 6-step sponsoring sequence strategy session. Just a few more S's at the end there. Strategy session, 6-step sponsoring sequence. But once we've got that, it's going to be always available. So if you want, if somebody asks you, or somebody else, how do I work with you? They could potentially work with you in MLSP. They could potentially work with you in the academy. They could potentially work with you in your primary opportunity. They could get coaching from you. I think the challenge then becomes the which direction do you lead them to ultimately first. That's the
exactly. I think that right now with the group, with this freebie that I created for the groups, I think that I got the words right. The title is really interesting. And I get a lot of people, and with the Facebook Live that I was doing before, I see that a lot of people are doing challenges and everything, but not with the groups. So I get a lot of not so many network marketers, but them as well. So I will need to create something, and then I will, through the conversations, I will probably lead with my primary opportunity, to them. So
yeah, definitely. Well, good.
Let's see. Yeah, now I have to balance everything.
So what process are you doing when they message you? Are you just sending the one message afterwards with the link? You telling them, send them a link to your group?
With the link. I don't, I don't ask them, are you still interested or something? I'm just
it's too many messages.
I got email, the sign up forum, the sign up page. So they go there, and I have an easy email sequence, introducing what I do, inviting them to my group.
On the thank you page, I don't know if you've done.
On the thank you page.
Have you got a link to the group on there as well?
Yeah.
Cool. Good.
On the thank you page, I have linked to the free strategy session and to the page, to the group. So, and then I send email out with the link again for the download, and with the few words about me, and again with the strategy session and the group. And then of course I'm kind of planning creating some sort of a course or boot camp or something, like what Robin did with the Instagram. I'm thinking of doing it with the group, because I see there was a lot of interest there. But I'm not sure if I want to jump from the freebie to the course, or I will do something in between, like a 1-week challenge, boot camp, something like that,
it's always it's always figuring out and ultimately it's trial and error to see what works and what doesn't. And taking people from zero to something costly can be a bit of a challenge when you haven't necessarily got a big relationship, but at the same time is also probably one of the hottest times to do it, because when people have taken action on something, they're at their most hottest then. And you've probably noticed that 80% of the previous group of people that you got as leads have probably drifted off now, and you haven't got as much engagement from most of those, and you'll end up keeping a small percentage of those that are still active and focused.
Of course,
but people just tend to drift off otherwise.
So and that's my plan, creating some kind of course and having it like a guided in a way that it's a group, like every week, like building up. But then I doing the webinars and everything, I can have everything recorded, and having some kind of worksheets, workbooks, or whatever, that's kind of easy for me, so I can sell the course just without my intervention, or just for the upsell or something. So
I think like $97 or something is is quite a good price.
That. Exactly. And now I'm not sure about putting something in between, to have something for like 27, 17, or jump to the big course. So
again, playing around and testing. One thing that I've found quite often is, have you heard of the contrast? How contrast principle works?
No.
It's more. I forget the exact phrase for it, but it's more how you frame something. And often what happens is, if people see a higher price first, like with the Academy, what I'm doing at the moment is we've got 3 packages. And when I'm talking to somebody, I'm saying, okay, so we've got 3 packages available. When I first started the Academy a while back, I only had the 1 package, which was the Platinum package. Platinum package is one-on-one coaching with me. It's $5,000. And, when I first launched it, I had a number of people join at that level, but most people weren't able to get involved. Which, for me, I wanted to help more people and try to figure out a way how to do it. So out of that came the next package down, which is now what we call the Gold package. And the Gold package is, instead of it being one-on-one coaching, it's actually group coaching, which means I can help more people at the same time. And the Gold package at present is $1,497. And again, you get the same training, but it just means in a group rather than directly one-on-one with me. And at the same time, I had a number of people coming back to me saying, Gavin, I still can't get in at that level. It's just not possible. And for me, I've wanted to help a lot more people and reach many more people. So that was when I created the Silver package, which obviously can help a lot more people, and most people can get involved at this level. So, literally what I did was I broke it down into a monthly payment of $200 instead of the full $1,497 or $5,000. So it's a lot more affordable for most people. And, as a fast action right now, anybody that takes action within the first 24 hours also gets an extra $50 off that. So it comes right the way down to $150. So basically, it means you get access to pretty much $5,000 worth of coaching and training for just $150 a month. So that's the contrast. That was me doing what I'm doing to my prospect. But that's so all of a sudden they go,
I'm not there yet.
No, well, you don't need to be. That's the thing, because if you look at, like, if you listen to any internet marketers, and there's a question that gets asked: how do you choose your pricing? Ask someone like Frank Kern or Mike Dillard or Mike Filsame. I've heard that somebody asked that question before, and they said, well, there's no science to it. You just pluck it out of the air. And so you can basically, you could put a price on your one-on-one time as, a few $100, $500, $1,000. But what it does then, when you do have something lower, they go, wow, I could work with Alenka for $1,000 for a 4-week course, or I could watch the replay and, get access to her group for just $97. It's like, wow, what a steal. So if you lead with the highest price first off, it's kind of like a reverse funnel in a way. You lead with the higher price, and they see that and they go, well, I'd love to be part of that, but I can't afford it. And then you go, well, actually, I've got another option where you can get the same information, just not one-on-one coaching with me. It's pretty powerful. Hey, Emma.
Yeah. I'm sending the messages out, so I will see the response rate, because obviously a lot of people will not, get it. And hey, so I'll see where we'll go next.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of ideas.
Lots of ideas, of course, always.
Just to wrap up, how did you go with the inviting to the webinar, and do you know how many people said yes? Do you know how many people attended? Do you know how many people submitted an application?
I sent out a lot. I think that around 70 invites, and 40 people requested around 45 people requested the information with the link and everything. And then when I was following up, most of them, few of them watched, but most of them didn't. So I sent them the replay link, and again, few of them really took the time to watch it. And I got three applications. One is not serious.
Did you speak to that one at all? Have you spoke to that one yet?
Yeah, of course, yes, I did. So and the
Cool.
other two, I think that they are ready to invest, and I'm positive that they will invest, but you
Yes.
never know, really. So in a way, I was disappointed with the response, you know, because I know that it's a good stuff. I was on the webinar. I knew that it was awesome, but I think that, you know, in a way, a lot of things is going on, and everyone has, you know, so much on the.
They do. You're right,
So,
100%.
yeah,
And you I mean, you're not the only one that is frustrated with their people, essentially, because some people said, well, you know, I expected more from my people. Why didn't they take the action
yeah,
I expected them to do?
exactly,
And
exactly.
this is the, you know, this is marketing ultimately. It's figuring out how we can get people to take more action. And what we found in the past, and what we'll find again with this as we go around, once we've got the system in place, you know, the webinar being half as long, and then the application for the strategy call, and then there'll be kind of like the sales video in after the application, kind of as homework before we do the call, so they get to see the offer, etc. But once we've once we've got that process down, it will. I'm going to have the other thing I'm doing is the online network marketers blueprint videos. There's currently 4 videos in that sequence. I'm going to re-record all of those videos. So one of the videos is going to be the number 1 reason you're struggling and the journey to freedom, the mountain that I showed, you know, the hill or the mountain. The other one's going to be the 10 skills to learn. The other one's going to be the 6-step sponsoring sequence, and then there'll be another. So there'll be 4 videos that basically cover what I covered in the webinar. So it means that you don't necessarily have to get people onto the webinar. They'll still be able to watch those 4 videos, or even one of them, and then underneath the video there'll be a link to submit the strategy request form. So we can, you know, we can bring them in 2 different ways. But one thing that we found, again, when I was working with Robin and Nicole and Sarah and Laura, is people that are committed, and people that new people that may not have been exposed to anything we've done before. They might not know what the 6 steps are. They might not know what the blueprint is. And if they literally just come to a webinar, often those people are the ones that, or even, well, the reason they didn't come to the webinar is more than likely because they didn't realize the power of the process, because they haven't been around us for that much time. So the people that they're still cold market to a certain degree.
Right.
Not all of them, obviously, but some of them are. So the people that are around us for longer tend to be the ones that join and buy and stick around. And, you know, I've spoken to some people on the phone this week who were invited by other people. And one of the ladies says, oh yeah, Gavin, you know, I've been following your stuff for ages. I love love this, that, and the other. And, you know, they become very easy to, you know, essentially to sell to or to bring on board. So it's just figuring out what works for you and your people, and it's kind of like pre-selling.
Yeah. I agree with you, because those that applied or are, you know, one is really new, but the other 2 are following me, and we are talking quite a lot, so they know, you know, and they've been in my group for some time, so they see results and everything. So yeah, I agree. It's just, you know, again, the number, I think it's the numbers game, and once we get the process right and everything, it will, you know, it will be easier for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. And once I fixed on one thing that works, because I've often changed things around to make sure to find what works for everybody, and to kind of answer a few of the problems that people have had. Do you have any questions at all, or are you okay at the moment?
I think that I'm okay. I'm busy in a good way, so yeah. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. I don't think you can continue to get 250 leads and stay sane.
So far I'm doing good, but the hardest part is then following up, and I know that I will need like 2 days to just organize everything. Because now I'm just copy pasting the links, I mean their profile, so I know who I send. But yeah, the following up and everything, it will be crazy. But I kind of plan to do a freebie every once in a while, maybe every month. So.
It's just a little booster, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And the goal is, did you get many comments in your own group as well?
Yeah, I got around 15, but in my group I also posted a link because I was so swamped with everything
You've
that
got to do it
I
sometimes.
said, sorry, I will just leave my link here. I will get back to you, but I have so many other requests that,
You need to kind of screenshot it as well and kind of show people
I do.
like how many, and just by also giving a limited number, like I've only got 50 copies of this. Look what happened last time. I had 250 people interested. You need to
maybe that
let me know quick. I mean that's not going to help you necessarily because you want as many people as possible. But at the same time, it's we've got to find other ways now of keeping the posture, keeping the it's so tricky because as soon as you give a link out in a post, like if the post says, hey, I've got this free gift, blah blah blah, it's really powerful. Here's a link.
What I found out, even in these groups that I got almost 200 comments, I posted the link because I knew that it will take some time.
But the link was in the comments, wasn't it? Not in the actual post.
In the comment. And I said, look, thank you for all the requests. I'm getting back to you, but it will take some time because of the Facebook jail. And here is the link if you want to.
Yeah.
But what I found out that most of the people will never see it. And even after that link, people are commenting, please send it to me.
Yeah. So it's like, it's right there.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm still going through them, and sometimes it helps, but sometimes it just doesn't.
No, and when you post a link in the actual post itself, what I often find is nobody comments. It's weird because as soon as they can get it, it's a funny process. So it's thinking, and this is the great thing about fan pages is because you can get people to message the fan page directly. But you can't. But then you end up giving a link.
I'm not sure if people are ready to message your fan page, because it's just
exactly.
They're just commenting under the post, me, yes, please, or things like that. With messaging, it takes a bit more. So I don't think that.
Maybe for brand new people that you don't have much of a relationship with, I think you're right. I mean, I because I've got a good relationship with a lot of the people now. They'll do that. They go through the message. They'll do the two things: leave a comment, they'll message the fan page, and I normally leave a link to the fan page. But when they're and you could think about doing that for the future, maybe for people that are in your group, maybe for people in other groups, have the goal to get them onto your list and then get them into your group. That way. Good stuff. All right, great. Well, thanks for sharing, and well done for we'll get some kind of outline and video done so we can put it in the as a bonus. And with the strategy session, I'd love to kind of do a bit of almost like a feature on what you've done and show people, because I'm going to have a free gift for people that fill out the strategy session, and I'd like it to be something like how to generate 195 leads in 48 hours, something like that, using and then I'll do a video and that showing what you've done, basically. That'd be pretty powerful. Cool, good stuff. All right, thank you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, Emma, let me just unmute you. There you go. How are you?
Hey, all right, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
I come on a bit early, but I am coming on to the next one for a bit.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Well, there's only a few of us here, so.
Yeah, I just like to hear what other people have got to say as well, because I mean, it's quite overwhelming, really, I think, because I sort of went into it with the approach that the webinar was coming and I was going to, target my community, and I was going to put a teaser on my personal page, and I had 26 people that I sent the link out to, so that was really good. But I found that it consumed me for the whole week. So I was like, couldn't think about anything else, because it's like the first time I've ever done it. I don't really know through trial and error if I worded everything correctly. I don't know what people think of me yet, really, because we're only 3 months in. But I sort of went with it like, I've got nothing to lose. I've only got something to gain. I'm me. Okay, let's see what happens. So I had 25 that I sent the link to. I probably got about 8 responses, but I've got a star next to 4 of them. One of them I messaged you about this morning, and I'll talk to you about her. Another one is actually in a unique So that's like quite interesting.
Yes.
They're all so novice, I feel, that like you just were talking about with the money, that they kind of don't really understand where their money's going. And I'm quite new myself, so it's kind of just working on the relationship and saying to them, you know, there's no pressure and any questions, and they keep coming back to me. So I've kind of got 4 warmish ones, but they're not committing as quickly as I'd like. But you know, it's going to happen again in another couple of weeks, and they could be the ones that surprise me. I don't know.
And also once I've got the videos set up and we can send them back through that, because often it does come from the new people to us, as in networking superstars. They generally don't know much about what we do and they can't see the benefit yet. But often also what happens is people that are relatively new to network marketing, or maybe they've just been in their company for a few months, they don't know that they've got problems. They don't know that they're struggling. They haven't realized they don't know what they don't know yet. So they've got to kind of mess about, play about, try different things, struggle, fail, hit barriers, you know, not generating any leads, spam, all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, yeah, I need some help. And then it's like, oh yeah. And, you know, Emma, you know, that comes back then to remind them of who you are. And it's about taking people on that journey with you as you, but you're always just 1 or 2 steps ahead of them, and you're sharing the good stuff. And so you're doing all the right things. It's just finding what works for you and your audience ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can already see a few things that you said in previous web chats that obviously I hadn't had lots of conversations going on, but I noticed the ones that are commenting and who they are, and how in a way it's like resembling me where I was 2 years ago, and I kind of have things to talk about with those people, and my conversations with them are so much easier than somebody, I know it sounds ridiculous, but doesn't use a full stop or an exclamation mark or an emoji, and you're like, one today said, what is that? And they felt it in a way that I didn't really understand. And I thought, I don't want to come across rude, but I don't know how to take that. So there are the ones that I really feel are liking and commenting much more. I mean, this week I've had about 25 new leads in my group.
Well done.
And yeah, it was really good because they've been quite conversational. They've like really answered my question, like, welcome, tell us who you are. So, you know, I've striked up some really good conversations there, and they've actually seen the post of the 48-hour replay. So I've used that as a notch on my belt to say that due to such a high demand, we are thinking of running it again, and I'll be in touch with you, as opposed to in a rush, let's just send them the replay. I don't really know much about them. I've got 2 weeks to know they're the ones I need to really get to know.
Yeah.
So it's like a learning curve for me, and I kind of, you know, it's quite consuming because it's exactly like Alenka said. Like, I sat down today with really good intentions to go through my spreadsheet of 130 names to see who I haven't actually sent the blueprint to. And then I realised I've got 25 names I haven't put on there. So I was like, wow, that's okay, an hour, that's fine, it's doable, I can do it. But then, as you know, I'm not getting as many as you. I'm getting the odd message, notification. You know, you slip away, you get distracted, and you're like, yeah, in a minute. And it's kind of like learning how to
manage it.
Don't answer anything for an hour. It's kind of just new. It's just new. And no, I have to say, I feel quite upbeat about it. I've changed the name of my group. I've taken the women thing out because it sounds so awful, but I just feel like I've neglected my multi-network marketing company that I've been with for 2 years, and I haven't really missed it, which is like, wow, I never thought I'd ever say that. I still love the product and I'm still selling, but I'm not, you know, being so on it that that's consuming me. It's kind of like, no, now's the time I have to grow myself. I have to now learn all the things that I've been watching other people do for 2 years and not knowing how they're implementing it. I mean, like today, just going onto my Get Response account, trying to sort out a landing page, I said to my husband, it's like, I'm going back and self-teaching myself everything, because if I don't, I'm never going to know. Like, so there's lots of things happening, and I feel quite good about it. I don't really have any problems because I'm a bit far behind because, you know, it's distracting. But no, I feel good about it all.
Good. Well, you've done this is, I mean, you know, if we go back a couple of months when, you know, Alenka was like, you know, I'm creating content, I'm connecting with leads. I say this quite often, but I don't have any engagement. You know, I'm struggling a bit with the engagement side. And, you know, we did a bit of work on it, and Alenka went and figured something out and posted it, and is now getting like 200 comments on posts and that, which is more than pretty much anybody else I know. So she's gone and done that. And, you know, going back a few months, Emma, you weren't, you know, you were creating a bit of content but not really getting much response. You know, 25 leads in a week now is pretty amazing what you've achieved. And, you know, it's the next step is obviously the invitation. Well, you invited a number of people, which is fantastic, and you got a number of people asking for the link. You know, you sent people the presentation, and now the next step really is to fine tune that process. And then once we've got this, you know, once I've got the strategy sessions in place again so they're always available, then working on getting more applications. So leads, applications, traffic, leads, applications, and sales is the 4 steps that we look at mostly in the High Tech Academy, which is the traffic, the leads, the applications, and the sales, because those really are the 4 critical areas that we need. So you're already getting traffic, you're already getting leads, it's converting into applications and then converting into sales. So all good stuff.
No, it is that whole traffic thing, you know, like frightens me a bit, to be honest. You know, like I rang Get Response today because I thought, you know what, I'm going to speak to someone and I maybe they're going to tell me I've got it all wrong. And like, they were so helpful. I mean, I was absolutely blown away by that service.
Wow.
Like, they were, like, literally, he sent me about 4 emails with all the different videos in the order to watch them to learn how to do it. And, you know, I just thought, that's exactly what I need. You know, I was going to go on to Fiverr, and I did, and they want my like login details and all of that, and I was like, no, I've got to figure it out myself. So
cool. And we will go through it when we get to that stage. Maybe not in as much. I'll certainly be giving you the high level process, but you know, to sit down, and so it's good that they will go through it with you from an instructions point of view as well. Like, exactly, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Yeah. So good. Also, if you get time, watch the start of this webinar or this call, because I talked about the Mastery Journal and about focusing. Amizi Cam's fallen asleep. Are you all right?
Yeah, no, we just froze for a sec.
Yes, so go back through this, and the Mastery Journal will be on there. And I talked about it, about the focusing. So it talks about productivity, discipline, and focus, and how to stay focused and then eliminate all the distractions and literally get through what you need to do. So it's pretty powerful stuff. Something that I've been doing over the last few days, and Alenka talked a bit about it, what works for her as well. So good. All right, well, let's see if Amizi Cam is there, or if your camera turned on a minute ago, Amizi Cam, and I saw you were having a bit of a rest. So if you do need a rest, let me know. It's been a long day, probably.
It's actually a long day.
Yeah.
I'm really tired.
Yeah, I bet. Well, we won't take too long. Have you got any questions at all, or any feedback based on what you've been doing this week, based on what we talked about last week?
Not really. I can't think of any question right now, to be honest. I've just been able to, I think I've been able to generate a bit more leads. I think I have about 41 members now, as opposed to, I think, maybe 25 the last time we spoke, or I think 30. Yeah, I don't remember. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. But as far as questions go, I just heard what you said as regards, you know, engagement and stuff with Alenka and you know, Emma and stuff like that. Yeah. So basically, it's just me just implementing. You know, I'm going over the trainings, and I just keep doing. So yeah, no questions, to be honest. Just trying to keep implementing and then see what goes, you know, what goes on. If there are any suggestions, yeah, definitely let me know, because I'm definitely just still building, and yeah, that's
I think
it.
I
And then
think one good thing is if you can take part in the group, and the same goes for anybody. It's hard sometimes because obviously we've all got our own groups as well, and there's so much going on that how can you actually take part in other groups? It becomes a real challenge. But often what I'm finding is happening, and I want to see if there's a way I can change this, is people aren't really, and I'll probably end up moving the academy group into the main Networking Superstars group, but most people are either not using our questions group and are literally just coming onto these calls to get their questions answered, which is fine and great. But what it means is, I was talking to someone earlier, and you know, she asked me a really important question. We talked about it last week, and basically has waited the whole week to ask me another question that could have been asked in the group, and we could have got the answer quicker and got some results faster. But instead, just leaving it for 7 days, and then leaving it for 7 days and 7 days. You know, before you know it, the whole month's gone by. So if you've got anything that as you're working or taking action, you know, if you do need any help with it, or if you've got any questions based on it, post in the group, and I'll get the answer, or somebody will get the answer to you. Because also what we miss is that there's a lot of other people in the academy that have got a lot of knowledge as well. So when you post in the group, you'll get feedback from other people sometimes, not always, but sometimes, which is quite beneficial.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Sometimes I actually forget the group, to be honest.
I think most people
yes, in the group, yeah. So you know, I'll definitely remember that.
Cool. All right. Well, good. Well done for taking action. Well done for getting some more leads.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think one thing for everybody just to bear in mind, I'll just mute you now for a second, but if you got any other questions, come off. But I think one thing for everybody is, I talked to somebody else on one of our other calls about this. Tony Robbins, and well, I think it's Tony Robbins, it's somebody else probably originally, but what's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And you know, it's never been truer with what we do, because there's some people that, you know, they do the same thing every day, and they come along to the calls and they're still not getting the results. Well, you know, if you're still doing the same thing, then you're going to get the same results. So try and change it around, do something slightly different. And it's, I don't remember the phrase or the term, but I think, again, it's something Tony Robbins talks about. And it's about almost like self-evaluation to a certain degree. And it's being able to reflect on what you've done and what your results are. And, you know, you do something, it doesn't go the way you plan it. So then you kind of think about it, and then from an objective point of view, without being sucked into it and getting stressed out that it hasn't worked, it's figuring out a way to be able to solve the problem, basically, and figure out what you need to do differently next time to make it work. And the whole journey is about that. It's about trying something, it doesn't work, so we tweak it. We try something, it doesn't work. We tweak it, we try something, it does work, we make it better. We try something, it doesn't work, we tweak it, we try something else, it works. And, you know, before you know it, you've got the whole process under your belt and you can do it. And it's just having that perspective, essentially. Let me see what Emma said. When members join the group, can you say something about notification settings so they get the alerts, or is that pushy? Good question. It's when or where to say it. I mean, in your welcome message, maybe in the post that you post in the welcome post when you welcome, you could probably say it. But the problem is nobody reads more than one bit of information, and nobody's going to read it. People can only do one thing at a time. So if you try to ask a question like, where do you live? Oh, by the way, there's a notification thing at the top. They won't answer your question. They'll just go, yeah. So I'd probably just leave it. Because I think, and I might be wrong, but I think most people either don't realize there's a notification, or actually it does say at the top now, doesn't it, when you join a group? Or I think. Doesn't, no. I know, because a lot of people don't realize they can turn notifications off, I don't think. You're welcome to speak if you want to unmute.
Yeah, but what I think is when they join the group, I leave them, I welcome them and, ask them to comment and engage. And, it's kind of early to ask them for the notifications if they really don't know yet what the group is all about. And I have my group closed, so I leave them, to just see how they feel in the group, and then, invite them to do more and to engage more. So
yeah, because I think
if you say them, the first touch that you have with them, they would be like, and why would I do that? What do I get from it? So
yeah, I guess they've got to be they've got to see the benefit, haven't they?
Yeah, right.
Alenka, what would you say has been the defining moment? What helped you go from struggling to getting more results, getting more leads, getting more engagement? What would you say you did differently?
I think that the defining moment, the moment I can really pinpoint it, was when I switched from the strictly network marketing to online, because I feel that I'm more confident with that. And I have broader expertise, because I don't have much results in network marketing itself, but I have a lot of knowledge and things about the online marketing. It's more general. I can teach more things. So I think that that's when it turns into I can do it. Before I was struggling with how am I going to do this? I don't have results. How will people respond to me? And when I turned it into online as more general, it was.
You felt more confident at that point.
Like liberating and deciding, that this is where I'm going. This is my direction. This is what I can do.
Good. And it's a decision, isn't it? And you feel it inside. It's like, yes, now I know what I'm doing. I've got more confidence. I can talk about it more. And also I noticed, at that point, because you were doing more, well, you may still be doing a lot more of the law of attraction stuff, but you kind of changed to more marketing as well, and talking a bit more about Facebook Live and things like that.
I also, at that time, I bought a really, something of a group training, for $7. It was just to see what others are doing. And I decided there that this group is my group, and this is where I will put all my effort in. And I started to posting more. I do 5, 6, 7 posts a day. Not lately because I'm overwhelmed with everything, but I generally do a lot of it. I comment on everything. I like everyone's comments. I'm really, putting everything in the group. I started doing the webinars every Monday, so I got a great feedback from that, and it got me into some kind of a rhythm that I feel, easy, and not easy. It's not easy, of course, it's not, but I'm in a flow kind of. So I think that was the everything came together, and then of course everything that I learned from you, it just fits in with all the other bits, and it just kind of came together.
Good. All right. Well, that's good to know. It's good. Good how it all fits, and it just is. It just clicks, doesn't it? Amizikam said, I did my first major training last week and didn't get that much engagement. Any advice on that? When you say major training, was it like a Facebook Live, or was it a webinar? What was it? You can unmute if you want to as well, or you can just type in.
So it was a Facebook Live. I used it was like the screen share thing and everything. I used OBS to do that, so I was able to share my screen and all that. So it was almost like maybe like a webinar. I don't know.
I think it's well, I guess it's classed as. I mean, Alenka calls it a webinar as well, but I call it more.
No, mine are called masterclasses. So.
Are they? Okay. There you go. Masterclass sounds like a good phrase to use. So, and ultimately, whatever works, however you want to brand it as. But
just because it's on M, for the Monday.
Yes, Monday masterclass.
Yeah,
nice. I like it. Any advice on getting more engagement? Did you post it in your group? Or did you post it on your fan page or on your profile?
I did the training right inside of the group at a certain time. So and I announced it prior to to sorry about that. I announced it prior to doing the training. Yeah, but I got some people watching, but not that much. I mean, for 40, how many is that? How many people? 40 people. Not that many people, maybe about 8, and just maybe one person asking questions.
Okay, no, that's good.
I'm actually grateful for that, but
yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
It's a good percentage actually. I mean, 8 out of 40 is pretty good. And honestly, it is just more people needed. Whether if you tried it on your profile, for example, if you've got, it depends, some people use their profile for their business as well. Some people just for personal. And obviously most people have got a lot of friends and family on there, so they don't really want other people to see it. However, if you're okay with that, and if you do have a lot of network marketing or, related friends that are related to the business that you're doing, you might find you get more engagement there to start with, and then you can use that as a feeder method to get people to join your group. But often it comes as you could just say, I've just created a really powerful tip that's going to help you with this, whatever. You can say that whilst you're live on the live broadcast, and say, if you'd like to know more, just leave a quick comment below and I'll send you a link to my private invite group, something like that. But where you've got a lot of people, often with profiles, we've often got hundreds of friends, sometimes in the thousands, and there can be more engagement there to start with until you get hundreds in your Facebook group. So, just keep doing what you're doing, and I would do them like Alenka does, once a week, and build up to it over a couple of days. Give people a bit of notice, because also if you, and this goes to everybody, if you do too many trainings, you get too familiar with, people just get too familiar and they're like, well, they're always available, they're always around, I'm not going to come to this one, I'll come to next one, or I won't bother, I'll just, and if it's a big thing, it's like once a week, be there or miss it kind of thing, then people are like, they want to be part of it. So that's another important tip.
I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, please.
No, I was referring to that exclusivity. And now I do the live webinars in my group. And I keep it in the group and then I upload to YouTube and on my webpage. But I'm thinking of doing some kind of a membership site, so I have, like replay for 2 days maybe, and then they have to sign up to see it. Not like a paid membership. It could be free, but what do you think about that?
I think it's a good idea. It's like having a training vault, essentially. All your back webinars or your back content. As I think the big challenge is the only issue is it becomes there is so much information out there, there's so much training out there, so in order for it to be, it's not necessarily more training that people need, it's more of the guidance and the hand holding and the coaching that people are looking for. So it might, unless there's a hook or an angle to it, it was like a 7-day boot camp on something, 5 minutes a day for 7 days, teaching you how to generate your first leads online, something like that, then it becomes valuable. But if it's like, oh yeah, you can get access to my old broadcasts and this, that, and the other, then I don't think there's that much value, perceived value in that specifically.
I agree with you, but what I found is when I'm talking to people, now instead of sending them to MLSP or something, I say, I just did the webinar around it. Do you want the link? So I give my own value instead of something else. It proves to be, valuable. But I agree with all these trainings and webinars and everything. It can be just too much.
Yeah, but if you've got an angle to it, which it sounds like you have, so you tell people you've just done a training on something specific, then it's interesting, then it's important. But if it's like, oh yeah, I've got all access to all this stuff you can get, then it's not necessary. But at the same time, even if you do have all of the backdated webinars in there or webcasts in there, or masterclasses in there, then you can pinpoint one specific one and say, you know, the third video in this sequence you can go to and get access to here. And then, you know, they can watch all the others if they want to as well. Cool, we're just coming up to time, so I'm going to wrap up this one. And if anyone wants to jump on the next one, you're welcome to. I'm just about to, I'll just hit end of this and then re-record the next one. And yeah, thank you very much. Mizikam, I hope I managed to answer your question then. Norm as well, good to see you.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
thank
okay,
you.
cool.
Thanks,
That's
Danny.
all right. All right, cool, great. And see you later, Alenka. See you later, Emma. And thanks again. All right, if you need anything, post in the group and let me know. See you later.
Right.